And when we're in that state of gratitude, we lose this selfishness and we connect with the one, with God, with the source, with the universe, with the energy. Call it what you will, but you're in this high vibrational state. It's one of the fastest ways to lift your mood in any given situation.
Hi, welcome back to Glow Talks with Jess. I am thrilled to bring you here today to talk about some seemingly controversial topics with my very good friend, Oksana Wright of Oksana Wright Now. She is an astropsychologist, mother, wife, and a wonderful friend to me. So thank you so much for being here on the show.
Thank you, Jess, for having me. What a pleasure and joy to be a part of this wonderful project that you've started and keeping up and doing an amazing job at.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been loving the podcast, so I'm just honored that you could be here today and talk about some of these, things that I think in the Christian community, and you know how much I love God and Jesus, that it could be a little bit, I don't know, take a bad rap or, where people are kind of judging about it from the outside and maybe not knowing all of what astropsychology has to offer, for instance, to a person in their endeavors of growth and being human.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, this is a very great opener, the way you're starting with it, because you're right. A lot of people, especially who are religious, who attend their respective churches, are rather hesitant to open their hearts up to additional tools.
Yeah.
That could provide just extra guidance. It's not necessarily any sort of witchcraft. There's no anything crazy happening.
No idolizing things.
It's all very simply put, a psychology of an olden day that has been around for millennia, that's been ingrained into multiple cultures across the globe.
Yep.
And, ever since astrology presented itself in my life about 7 years ago, the journey has been just an amazing blossom up.
Yeah.
And the right connections seem to happen right at the right time. Yep. All the financial situation is just increasing and gaining stability and momentum.
Yep.
The relationships with my children, with my husband, with my parents, with all the close people in my life are improving significantly on a daily basis.
Yep.
And all of this, the relationship with my body, with the way I feel, with the way I look, is improving, and just things are really good.
Yeah.
And
I love that.
It's just astrology, using astrology as an additional tool to look at yourself as a personality.
I mean, God made the planets, He made our universe.
Exactly.
Why would we deny, right, the power and maybe some insight, right, that we can't touch it, we can't feel it, so it's kind of scary, it's a little out there, right? And I get it, But like you, I've been working with you. We did a couple of sessions together, and which, as a matter of fact, helped stimulate my ability to even start this podcast, because we were talking about, voice and having confidence when speaking, sharing my story. And, after having that particular session with you, and looking at the list of practical things that you gave me to do, I was really able to step through some fear and blockages that I had built up over time.
Did it help you release some of the energy that was just hiding and stagnating inside?
Yeah.
The minute you start sharing, the minute you start following the cues, and astrology is able to just give you a couple of those, right? Yep. But that same moment, you open up, you uncoop all this energy that you have stored inside of you to reach your maximum potential, to see where the challenges are and not to run away from them.
Right, reframing them.
But exactly, to look at them as an opportunity to grow.
Yeah.
And the minute you shift your mindset and start going in that direction is the minute your life turns into a fairy tale.
Yeah.
And everything just happens.
I've had other guests where they talk specifically about the power of our thoughts and the power of our words. And I always come back to that. And if we can position ourselves in a way where we can be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually grounded and, sound, that's when like you, I started seeing all kinds of amazing manifestations and just blockages removed, and where we think it's a coincidence or chance happening, like, no, it's not. We're actually able to utilize the energies that are around us to, help us along our path and our way of our purpose of what God really wants us to do.
Exactly.
And what better way to tap into that than through nature and through all these like things that God has given us to, look at and study.
Exactly. And that's why I love astrologies, because really all advice goes around just very regular, common, daily things that you can do. For example, like walking in nature does wonders. And it's actually a recommendation for harmonization of a few planetary energies. So it's interesting how such a simple thing that anybody can afford. It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't really need anything special to organize.
Right.
But you're literally healing every step that you're taking in the forest on that walk in the morning.
Well, and what I love about, and we're going to go into this a little bit more, but what I love about how you help others to implement these daily practical things is that, you're getting a solid foundation each week that covers not just your day-to-day tasks or helping to take care of the kids or go to work and do a good job, but like, what about taking the time every day to pray or meditate or at least, on Sundays, which I saw on your chart was a really great day to reflect and to spend time with your father. And I mean, this is why we go to church on Sundays, and maybe we just don't even realize it.
That's exactly right. And if one speaks Spanish, they would probably know that the days of the week have very specific namings, right?
Okay.
And they are actually corresponding to the names of the planets for which that day's energy is corresponding to.
Okay.
So
to help boost the energy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you focus on some of the energies of that day, if you just dedicate a little bit of time each day of every week, so easy to do. And advice is very practical. But you just watch your life blossom around.
Yeah.
So for example, Monday in Spanish is lunes, the day of the moon.
Okay.
So very recommended to reach out to your mom, because the moon in our chart is responsible for the relationship with our mother. So reaching out to your mother.
Energy.
Exactly. Spending time with your children. So preferably, especially for women, it's very good when the woman can give herself a day off on a Monday.
Okay.
That way you just have the day to focus on yourself. If you need to take a
Recharge.
bath, you go take a bath. Any contact with water is fantastic. Spending time with children. That way you don't feel guilty. Well, hey, my child needs this attention, but I'm also working on this and I'm trying to accomplish this. So then you're in this inner conflict over like, hey, what should take priority? But for me, it's not a conflict anymore ever since astrology came into my life, and I created this project that I call Astro Week, literally built on the days of the week and what I do. So if it's a Monday, I have all the time in the world for my children. All the time. They come to me and I'm patient. I'm like, everything and anything waits around those priorities. If my mom calls, if my mom wants to go to the DMV for the third time because she's failing her driver's test, given that she just came from another country, I have all the time in the world. And I don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's very easy to get caught up and, sometimes you're like,
know.
oh, I'm busy. I'm
Yeah.
like, get a little frustrated maybe, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's not what we want. That's not
Impatient.
harmony. That's not harmony.
No, that's right.
So, yeah. So
you're
that's-
having focused intention.
Exactly. And pausing, being in your body. So taking a yoga class, going for a walk, when you just can slow down and not like be on a phone and scrolling constantly, but just like pause, pray, meditate.
Yeah.
All of those activities are excellent for Mondays.
Okay. So Tuesdays.
Tuesday is the most active day of the week because it's Mars. It's Martes.
Okay.
In Spanish. So you take on your biggest lift of the week. Like, so the big project that you've been kind of like gearing up towards. Tuesday is an excellent day for that.
Okay.
Tuesday is fiery. It's red, color red. Doing anything.
Oh yeah,
with
because you
fire.
said colors also correspond to the
That's exactly
days.
right. So for Monday, for moon, guess what? It's white.
White.
So
Okay.
pearls for women especially, pearly white. All the light colors like this. Tuesday red. active sports, you gotta work out on a Tuesday. If you only work out once a week, make it a Tuesday.
Okay. Oh, okay.
You're just gonna gain so much more. You know what I mean? And again, like that's your advice right there. Like nothing crazy, not but if you build it into a routine on a weekly basis, now you're guaranteed to call your mom once a week, to work out once a week. You know what I mean? Like
that's
you're
what
already
I'm saying.
winning.
It's very practical, and that you're not just leaving things to the wayside and then you're caught up in the rat race, and here you are by a Friday and you haven't done anything for yourself.
You haven't even inhaled or forgot to exhale. You know, you're like,
well, we've all been there. I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah. So if you're not careful, you can get there again. And then the question is, how long are you going to last like that?
Exactly. Well, and that's when you're inviting, other imbalances in your mind, your body, and your spirit. So Wednesday,
miércoles. It's Mercury. It's anything having to do with communications. Anything having to do with friendly negotiations, or all sorts of negotiations, really, but negotiations, communications, friends, out with friends. Now, when I say, Wednesday is great for, outings with friends, I'm not saying that Friday is not a good day for, or Monday, or whatever. There's not a bad day for a good deed. So if it's something fun and enjoyable, any day of the week works. You know what I mean? But if you could just spend a little extra conscious moment for each one of the day's energies, just watch the beautiful results that are going to come in.
Okay, I love that.
So Wednesday, communications, writing. If you could sit down and journal once a week, make it a Wednesday.
Okay.
So anything.
What about the colors?
Green.
Okay, green.
Yes, and it's money. It's transactions with the money.
Okay.
So you can buying, selling. Great for Wednesdays.
Okay.
Money transactions. Great for Wednesdays.
Awesome. Yep. Okay, so Thursday.
Jueves. It's Jupiter.
Okay.
So it's the day of wisdom. It's the day of spirituality. It's the day of good, selfless doing. So volunteering, donating, helping those in need, sharing the knowledge, consulting. All are good for Thursday. Thursday, where Jupiter is also responsible for our finances.
Okay.
So we really want to make sure that we are refraining from judgment of anything and everything and anybody. And if we have some financial transactions to transact, feel free to do it. It's a great day for investment purchases. So anything that you want to build with time.
Purchase.
Exactly. Thursday is an excellent day because it's just, you have the support of that energy on that day. Just a tad more than you would have, say, for example, on a Monday.
Right.
Monday,
I mean, some of us, we can't, help.
You can't control. Exactly. So be sensible with this.
But the thoughts are going to help drive, right?
This
actions.
sort of thinking. Exactly.
Exactly.
Now then, Friday, today, and when I was, random, not really even surprised because I see miracles every day around me. But Jess shows up in this lovely pink dress with lovely pink lipstick because Friday, Viernes, is the day of Venus, the planet of beauty and everything luxurious, and her favorite color is pink. Yay. How fitting.
I know.
And you had no idea.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah, so this is just amazing. Friday is an excellent day for anything romantic. To if you don't, have somebody to get you flowers, get yourself flowers on a Friday. If go do something for your beauty. Go do something that will just put a smile on your face. Like it's a perfect day for self-love. Anything that you just wanna do that would bring you joy. Love. Now, Friday is a great day for hobbies. Now, if you don't have any hobbies, you gotta get at least a few. And Friday is just a day, like if you spend at least 5 minutes because, a lot of people are saying, well, I don't really know what I like. And it's sad, you know what I mean? Because like they don't even ask themselves like, what would I like doing? In addition to all the daily chores that I'm responsible for,
Well, and it's important, I've found over the years with humans to have some kind of outward expression artistically, which could be anything. I mean, it could be just taking photos or cooking. I mean, cooking is such an art. I mean, so there's got to be something that if you really find joy in doing it, then allow yourself to explore a little bit farther maybe than you have in the past.
Yeah, so drawing, knitting, any sort of
dance,
art.
My favorite.
Dance is definitely one of them. Music. Golf. This is how I arrived in golf because I was in the search when astrology started asking me these questions, right? Like, hey, what if there were, additional ways to live this life if you look at it through a different perspective. So now, what are your hobbies? I'm like
trying something new.
Exactly. So I was like, let me, and that's how I arrived at golf. And this was one of the areas that you and I connected over.
I know. I love playing golf with you.
Yes,
and
yes,
we're always having a fabulous time, and we get to be outdoors.
Exactly. I love it.
I love traveling with golf. I love when the kids want to play. I mean, they're, sometimes it's yay or nay, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We have our girlfriends to...
Exactly. So so hobbies, anything that brings you joy.
Good.
Brings you joy.
Okay, and then Saturday.
Saturday is Sabado, and it's Saturn. It's a good day for organizational activities. Like if you have something to do at the house, at your business, with your relationships, whatever. You're like just organizing, structuring. It's a good day for serving, especially elderly. Okay. So if there's something that you could do for the elderly on a Saturday, it's a great day to do. Spending time in nature really is a really, really good.
And that's good every day, but
every day
we can make a concerted effort.
But because Saturn, like when this energy of Saturn is disbalanced, it's one of the heaviest planets to carry on your shoulders because it weighs us down. It gives us depression. It gives us sad thoughts. Okay. It's one of those heaviness planets that just kind of like just weighs you down. And spending time in nature, working in the garden, or just like touching some flowers, looking into flowers, being by the trees, being by the water, same thing, is very, very beneficial for a Saturday. So anything that you can do kind of like to like soothe yourself and relax. Like for example, this Saturday we've had like such an insanely busy week this week with my husband, so we just booked like a spa day tomorrow, and it's a perfect thing to do for a Saturn because you wanna like relax. You want to soothe your body. You want to give your body a second to just like
and exhale. I mean, we talk about practicing the pause. I specifically have found with helping to heal my nervous system, my central nervous system, that it's so important to do these activities that will help promote the parasympathetic nervous system, which is what's happening kind of behind the scenes, our breathing and all of this. And I've learned even that we hold grief in different areas of our body, and part of that is in the lung. So doing breathing exercises, the yoga walking outdoors, getting fresh air, those are all going to help to promote moving stale or energy that's stuck out of the body. And we all know what happens. Like when we're stressed, we're running around, we're not paying attention. Our systems become heavy and dense.
And then they yell in your face, and then you lie down with an illness for a week because your body just can't go on like this.
That's right.
Or you get into an accident and you have to be in a hospital for a month where you can't touch your phone, where, you know what I mean? Just like things like that happen when you don't listen. So it's better to listen, and it's better to do that work preemptively, voluntarily. Hey, this is my offering for my well-being. Why not? And again, you've heard the advice so far. It's all very down to earth, right? So Saturday, try, watch a comedy instead of a horror movie. That's, for Saturday. So don't weigh yourself down.
These are practical things.
Exactly. Don't weigh yourself down unnecessarily. There's so much heaviness as is, so don't do extra to weigh yourself down. Yeah. And then on Sunday, it's, the day of the sun. We don't even have to translate it into anything, right? But it's the honoring the relationship with the father, father figure, just spreading positivity. Same thing, spending time in nature, being with your family, just shining your bright light with your community, with your friends, with your family. This is all lovely to do on a Sunday. Yeah. On a Sunday is a good day to take a moment and pause and send gratitude for what we have. Every day, honestly, is a good day for
the
gratitude.
Power of gratitude and having a gratitude practice.
Exactly. But Sunday is particularly, right? And I know, when we go to church, there's a lot of time dedicated to sending, praises for what we have, because we do have a lot. We have so much. Yeah. And sometimes, it gets easy to kind of overlook that, but it's really worthwhile.
Yeah, where the mind goes, energy flows. So
100%.
You're really thinking about all the amazing things. I mean, one of the things that I had done with some of my coaching was to every day just write down 3 things you're grateful for. Yeah. I mean, and it can be very simple. Yeah.
Very simple.
But it's so powerful.
It's 100% the most And so this is something that I wanted to share because
let's talk about it.
You know, after talking this, so this is your week at a glance, basically. This is you focus a little bit on this and a little bit on that. But if I were to pick out 3 activities that will touch on majority of these areas, and they will literally touch on all of these, if you know, one were to take away these 3 activities, life would already just turn into this much better version of what it was before doing any of them.
Okay.
So I'm just really excited to share. So one of them is yoga.
Okay.
Yoga, it's all, you know, people have a love-hate relationship sometimes with yoga. Or they say like, oh, I can't do yoga because
I'm
it's
not
too
flexible.
still. Or there's a lot of that. But yoga is a great tool to slow down and be in your body.
Yep. The
When
breathing.
when we slow down, and all sorts of yoga work. There's a variety, and there's different styles of yoga, and there's always, I know for a fact, there's a style of yoga that will fit everybody's needs.
I agree.
Despite of what they might think and how much yoga is not for them. But it helps us be in our body. And when we slow down and, you know, for a second even, just listen what's our body telling us, it's already such a powerful tool to use. And a lot of people just don't do it.
And that's how we met.
Exactly.
Thanks to our really good friend Rhonda.
Yes, through a yoga class. And then we picked up on a hobby of golf.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, yoga came into my life before astrology, but golf came after astrology because I opened my heart up to, hey, I'm going to same with dancing. Like I started like taking dance classes. I started piano classes because of astrology, because I knew that those areas in my life never really got attention. I chose not to give them attention because I didn't know any different. But then I knew with astrology, it became very obvious. Like, hey, there's these areas that you can just, you know, polish up a little bit.
It was just a lift. It was like a little lift and a little boost to be like, oh, let me think outside the box. And again, like I've said this before, like stop like making assumptions and start asking the questions.
Yeah. What if astrology could help me gain a different perspective into where my challenges are? Why am I keeping these behavior patterns that keep reoccurring? Why are there beetles flying around while we're trying to record a video? But all of everything that's happening has a place to be, and it's always happening for us, right? And astrology is just one of the ways to look at it. You know, it's an additional angle, if you will. You know, at the same thing, because we're ultimately looking at ourselves and we're ultimately trying to better ourselves, right? Like every day that we're in this life,
that's the goal.
We have an opportunity to make this place just a tad more beautiful. Why not?
Well, and be the light for God. I mean, we
be
are
the light
vessel.
for God.
We are the vessel.
We're
That's what he put us here for.
Exactly.
So yoga is the first.
Yes, the second one. So yoga touches. I just want to count the planets. It touches on 5 planets, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the moon because it lets you slow down. Mars because there's styles of yoga where like you let your Mars out when you started sweating in your workout. So it's a workout. It's also great for Friday because it's a hobby, right? It's a hobby that got us together, right, in the same space. Saturday because it helps you with the flexibility. Saturn, that heaviness, because like once it's like weighing us down, we lose contact with our spinal architecture, so we start having issues with our skeletal structure. Yoga is a great mechanism to alleviate that because like with age especially, it will only become more pronounced. So yoga helps one really stay more flexible, just healthier, a healthier version of oneself. And sun, because all the sun salutations that you're doing, all the gratitude towards the sun, every time you lift your heart over your brain in certain positions that yoga offers, you are doing such a humongous favor for your body. Just like how the blood flow circulates and how everything just regenerates inside of your body on the physical level. And it's beautiful. Why not do it? If you could just, wrap all these planets with this one thing, yoga. Same thing with dance. Yay! Dance is amazing.
When you told me that, I was like, yes.
It literally harmonizes, like literally, again, I think if I'm not mistaken, 5 planets again. So let's think. So it's definitely a workout. It's definitely a meditation for Monday. So Monday, Tuesday. It's definitely a Friday because dance is beautiful.
With
it's
friends,
a form of art, yes.
And you're doing it like with someone else typically. You can always dance in your room by yourself, but it's more fun with people.
Exactly. It's like it's a relationship. It's a it's this it's almost like
it has its own language.
Exactly.
So that's for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. So dance, it's an art form for sure. Then Saturday, same thing, because dance helps us be less sad. So go dance
Releasing
away, go dance away your
sadness
sadness
of the week.
When you've had a rough day, go just like even with friends is great, but like in your room, turn up the music and just dance it out in the way that your body wants to move.
I totally do it.
And you really say, ducks in the pond, like after a fight, how they flap their wings, and thinking about it, one would notice that they're just releasing that excess energy. And then after that, they go about swimming the pond so freely, you know what I mean, and so smoothly. But you have to release that energy. Same with that dance allows you to do that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Sunday, because like say, especially dancing on a stage, that's you're in the sunlight, you're in the spotlight, like, so it's so beautiful. So dance, yoga. The third most impactful practice the one can take away with them after this episode would be a gratitude journal. And I know a lot of people do it and it's fantastic. And they probably already know the power of what it brings, right? But if you are currently not doing a gratitude journal, I think everybody should start. I always recommend it to all my clients because it also captures so much planetary energy and helps us just realign with who we are, and for what we have, we already are thankful, and it just reminds us that there is so much already
to be thankful for, and all the blessings. I mean, it could be simple. Like when I first started out with some life coaching, one activity was just find 3 things every morning of what to be thankful for, and it can be fast and easy, and it doesn't have to be a whole book of it. Just that's it, and just do it every day. Be as consistent as possible as you can.
Even so, writing it is one of the options, but even just bowing down to your heart and just finding the places where you're thankful for. And some people do it as a part of their praying, or meditation, or in the journal it's best because you're then touching up on Mercury again. So, and the planets that you're harmonizing when you're writing out your gratitudes again is Moon, because you're taking a moment with yourself. It's Mercury when you're writing them out. It's Thursday for Jupiter, because you're sending the appreciation for what you have. And as we know, what you think about, you attract more of, right? So when you're focusing on your gratitudes, you're attracting more of the blessings
to be
that you're
grateful
thankful for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
then for Saturday, it's also helping us soothe that heaviness and the sadness, because sometimes things might be not what we want, and sometimes they might be kind of heavy, but if in that moment, if you can still slow down and just ask yourself like, hey, but there's still all these other things that I could be thankful for, and there's always, until that very last breath, there's always something to be thankful for. Always, And then for Sunday, of course, because it's such a good way to just like spread the positivity, like the sun when it shines, it doesn't pick out who it's going to shine on, the warmth and the light, and who it's not going to shine the warmth on. It shines for everybody selflessly, without the ego. So when we're in that state of gratitude, we lose this selfishness, and we connect with the one, with God, with the source, with the universe, with the energy. Call it what you will, but you're in this higher vibrational state. It's one of the fastest ways to lift your mood in any given situation. So finding that gratitude is just one of those magic pills that astrology offers,
if you've never done or had a gratitude practice or journal, I did hear also once before, and I've tried this a few times myself, and it really does work. It works to lift my mood immediately. And that is not just to like write it down or think it, but then think of the moments or the person or the thing. Feel it as if you were really there in those moments, and like bring that feeling into your body, and it will have more of an impact even than what we know. What we've experienced in the past, perhaps.
Absolutely.
Well, this is amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much for teaching us some of these practical ways throughout the week that we can stay balanced, and giving us a guide, so to speak, because sometimes it's tough. There's so much out there, but I love how practical this is, and that it can be a roadmap to, helping to develop and continue to heal yourself, find your purpose, and, live your best life.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's easy when you're doing it from a stable core, when you feel like you have something to fall back on. Last year, and I know you and I shared an experience of losing very dear people in our lives. And we were going through that experience roughly at about the same time, about a month apart, right?
Yeah.
But
we even saw each other in the hospital.
That's exactly.
It's just crazy to think about that.
I know. It's going to be a year this Sunday for
we just experienced our 1-year anniversary in August. So
So, but that was my Astro Week practice was literally the only thing, because nothing when life is shaking you so hard, not very many things matter.
That's right.
And what I went back to over and over and over again is this core of the Astro Week that it gave me. I would literally open up my closet and I would dress according to the colors. I would literally just that kept touch, my feet on the ground.
Creating an intention.
Exactly. And that was the only thing that I was keeping up when everything else stopped mattering and I just was not paying attention, So it helped me go back to this inner core that's strong. And even when it's shaky outside, I have this right here, and that is within my control always, And this is just one of the tools to strengthen it and to provide this extra support when one needs it. You know?
And for others, right?
Exactly, for others. And this is, so I just want to extend my gratitude for you having me on this show, on this project of yours. I've already gained so much usefulness out of the Glow Talks with Jess. I've already met with Efsheen. I've scheduled my treatments with her. I've gained so much. I've literally took notes on the tips, how to, what to pay attention to when you're doing the land purchase.
Buying land.
And it's just so helpful to know that it's there in the safe container, nicely packaged with this lovely energy of yours. And I can always revert to it when I need to freshen up, something. Oh, I remember we talked about this, can I go back? And it's all neatly put away in this lovely container that you've created. So thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. And thank you in return, because you were very instrumental in helping me to step through my fears and triggers of speaking out and being on camera, and even just the idea of doing the podcast. So, I know we were meant to meet and be friends for life. So
I agree.
I'm just so grateful. Well, so Oksana, please share with the viewers and our listeners, where can they find you online?
Yes, I'm online on Instagram. That's my most active account. And it's just my name, Oksana Wright, all one word. And
WRIGHT.
Correct.
Got it.
And but my website is much easier to spell. It's yourowncoaching.com.
Yourowncoaching.com.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because the idea is that I'm interested in providing the tools and sharing the tools with people so the way they can go and rely on their own strength. So my goal is to build up strength in my clients so the way they can always go back to this, hey, I am on my path. And I am, I get a lot of feedback from clients saying, you're actually saying all the things that I've already kind of been feeling, but I was not sure. I was like, am I crazy? Is this really for me? Am I creating some sort of crazy stories? Where is this coming from? So me, a complete stranger, reiterating that same thing that they've been hearing from their own intuition, just confirms that they're on the right path. And just hearing that confirmation is so empowering. So that's my goal, is to empower and to give people their own tools for their own coaching. So yourowncoaching.com. And yes, I would, if you want to hear more details about, astrology, Vedic astrology, individual natal chart reading, reach out. I'll be happy to connect.
Thank you. I love that. And thank you guys for joining us. We are thrilled to continue to provide great tips and tricks and advice to live your best life here at Glow Talks with Jess. Please like, subscribe, and share Glow Talks with Jess. You can find me on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. And until next time, we will see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.